Recess, Cameroon, Green, first edition. Come on. I'm breathing the air. I'm eating the fish. I'm drinking the water. We gotta save the world. Yeah. Think about the people of tomorrow. For what we do will echo till tomorrow. Let's put our hands together, heal our earth together, plant more trees and save the earth.
So let's stand together as one, to make a change, to make it green, to make it green.
And thanks for choosing us at this moment. It is a special edition of Keep It Green, an environmental program that usually comes up every Thursdays from 3:30 to 4:30 on High Television. But today is April 22nd and it is the World Earth Day, a day set aside by the United Nations to raise awareness on the plight of the Mother Earth. And this year's theme, it is and focus on ending plastic pollution. And our discussions today will be centered on how to end plastic pollution. We're discussing on what plastic pollution is and the causes and effects and the way forward, such that we can make the earth a better place. And today I'm joined by Jingwa Laura and Fomengia Dominic, and then we are so enlightened. We are so glad that you are joining us today. And I will start. I will continue on our discussion where we have been dissuaded from using plastic material because it has not only an adverse effect on our health, it equally has some unpleasant effect on the on our environment. And I think Dominic would throw more light on that, on the effect of plastic.
Okay, Joyce. So the plastics cost overflowing, like plastics, they go alongside to block our gutters, and then the channels that run off water was supposed to pass, they go and they block it, and as a result we realize that we have overflowing. And when those plastics at times they float into our ocean bodies, into our water bodies, we realize that plastics cannot sink into the water bodies, they float on top, and as a result of that they trap oxygen from getting into the aquatic organisms. Not only oxygen, but they also trap sunlight energy from getting into the aquatic organisms. Not to be taken, the aquatic organisms is not only plant, it's not only animals, but also have
not only fish, not only animals, but equally plants.
Plants as well.
Definitely.
So as a result, the plants will not be able to photosynthesize, and as a result of that, the fishes will lack oxygen due to eutrophication and other ecological imbalances.
Okay, I think it's a whole process, because for instance, if the waterways are blocked by plastic, the water, if there's a canal or a channel that water usually flows, it's not going to flow and it's going to go to the road. And once the road is bad, we can't use the road. And if we had to save a life, since the road is bad, the speed or the time, so it's a whole process of activities. And these plastics are set, they can't flow, they float, and it traps, it blocks oxygen, it blocks the penetration of sunlight, and these organisms in the water they're going to choke because there's no oxygen. They're going to not be able to have sunlight, which actually it plays it has a great role to play in their lives. So now move to it's not advisable for us to use plastics, because we usually, I think when I was growing up, at some point we had a lot of campaigns. My mom went to some meetings where they were dissuaded from using plastic to tie their food, because it said that it is the #1 cause of some diseases, especially cancer. So those are some of the effects of using plastics. And this year's theme is of the World Earth Day. It's end pollution, end plastic pollution. And it is said that research equally shows that in 2050, if care is not taken, our rivers, our seas, and our streams will be filled with plastic and no aquatic resources. And the aquatic resources, most of them are our primary sources of protein. And equally, if imagine a river or a stream that is choked, and all these resources, the plants, the fish, the animals die. And I'll take a case, for instance, the mangrove. The mangrove have a lot of ecosystem services which they offer to mankind. Imagine that we do not have those services anymore. The planet Earth, not only those aquatic resources, the planet Earth, it's going to choke and everything will be gone. And I bet you it's not what you televiewers out there would want. And that is why we are sitting here today to raise awareness. We are going to point out maybe the few activities that we do that are not environmentally friendly, and our focus today is on our use of plastic. That's why we are going to we advise each and everyone to limit our usage of plastic material, and also maybe dispose of it in a proper way. And Laura earlier prescribed 3 R's. I think that is reduce, reject, or recycle. If that's not it, I think Laura should throw more light on that.
Actually, there used to be 3 R's, but I added 1 R. You reject, you reduce, you reuse, and you recycle plastics.
Definitely.
Yeah. So rather than dumping it, why not even recycle it? Rather than dumping it, why not reuse it? Rather than even using it, why not even just leave it? Use some other substitute and not
the
use
thing is,
plastic.
at some point, let's the situation that we are, it's like we can't do without the plastic now. So I think we should reduce, reuse, recycle. I think that's
we should reject. It's not that we can't do without it. It's just that human beings have made it in such a way that if they are too used to with something, they cannot really apart from it. But if when there was no internet in Southwest, I believed we all coped. We did. Because there was no internet, we still had our things going on. So the fact that it's present, it doesn't mean that we should use it. So we can actually reject it. So rather than using disposables, plastics, why not use reusable?
Okay, definitely that's what we should be able to reuse or dispose of this plastic. I want us to go straight to the point now, and I want to let us tell our viewers who are watching us now that how to get dispose of this plastic, or maybe how to use it properly such that our seas, our water bodies are not suffocated or filled with plastic, and which actually the effects are not very good on the environment. I would want Mr. Dominic to maybe enlighten our televiewers on better ways to make use of these plastics.
Okay, there are better ways of making use of plastics. As earlier said, we can recycle plastics to make bricks. For example, there are some of these containers, plastic containers, that we've actually seen people filling it with ground with sand, and they use it for construction. That is, they use it like bricks for construction. We find some plastics being used for chairs, like the tires of vehicles.
That's recycling.
That's recycling.
That's
Wow.
good. And there are some plastic, like plastic papers, they take them, they recycle them and use them for what we call mannequin, or most of these people, when they are selling dresses, the way they put them.
Okay, coming from the Resource Center for Environment and Sustainable Development, I know you guys have been doing a great job on recycling, and I really want to congratulate you guys on that, because
Thank you.
I've been able to pass by the office and I've seen a lot of things. And I think if our technicians are ready, maybe they should put on screen some of the things that the Resource Center for Environment and Sustainable Development have been doing to end plastic pollution. I think if our technicians are ready, they should be playing that on screen. Meanwhile, let's discuss about it. I think that there are so many people, so many companies which are producing this plastic, which are using these plastic containers. I think that my suggestion, I'll throw to the floor, that if these companies, I wouldn't want to call names, they know themselves. A lot, maybe the water companies, they use a lot of plastic, and so many other persons. If these companies can take it upon themselves to recycle this bottle, because I bet you I know none of them who is engaged. There's just one company that I know, and he's not even producing. He is just there to recycle plastic, especially bottles. But these companies that actually make use of these bottles do not recycle. I think that my suggestion, if I were to advise one one company that uses plastic or produces them, I would advise them to recycle. Maybe at the various we have Isakam is doing a great job to dispose of waste, but I think if they could partner with this sanitation company and together with Isakam and the companies, that they equally have their cans beside those cans, such that we educate the population that if you have these plastics, you should dump it in this can. But the plastics are not generally non-degradable. So non-biodegradable. You place them there in this can. The next can is for biodegradable. So if you have that, then I think that's a means of ending plastic pollution.
Separating
the waste. Biodegradable waste and non-biodegradable. And plastic is number one, which is non-biodegradable. I think that way it's a means of ending plastic pollution. Actually, what do you think?
It's a good idea actually, because companies have even come up now that they don't want you to stress. You might not have that creative mind to come up with something beautiful from the plastics, but you can have a way to give those companies that they can recycle, and those companies will never leave you empty-handed. If you go with bags, they will give you gifts, definitely. And YouTube too has made it so much easy. Rather than spending time on Facebook or maybe you're doing something else, why not go to YouTube and maybe you type how to recycle bottles? And when you type how to recycle bottles, there are a lot of videos that shows you how you can turn bottles to something beautiful. Now you can start practicing those things, and that is why the Resource Center for Environment and Sustainable Development has a project what we call Trash to Treasure.
Definitely, if our technicians are ready, I will plead that they put those images on screen so that we can see how actually research has been transforming trash to treasure. And if you're just tuning in, you're watching Keep It Green. It's a special edition, but initially Keep It Green comes up every Thursdays on High Television from 3:30 to 4:30, and a rebroadcast on Tuesdays at 11 a.m. And today is the World Earth Day, and this year's theme is End Plastic Pollution. And we are asking our televiewers, since it is World Earth Day, you have the numbers on your screen, how do you think we can better promote environmental protection? I have this hi, it is Velano from Limbe. Another way to promote environmental protection is by placing trash cans by roadsides for the dumping of recycled, like what we just said. Thank you very much, Velo, and happy Sunday to you. And I think that is if we are responsible enough to, if we cannot reject, but we should try in as much as we can to reject the use of plastic. We should reuse, we should recycle, and we should, Laura?
And we should reject.
If we cannot reject, I wish we thought about reuse, recycle, and reject plastic. That's the only way we can end plastic pollution. We should recycle and make sure that if we have to dispose of them, we should dispose of them properly and not in the various water bodies we have in our localities around. Because if you move to the streams, you find them floating. You move to the rivers, the lakes, you find them floating, and that is not environmentally friendly. We'll take a break and we'll be right back for the second part of this program.
Recess. Cameroon. Green. First edition. Come on. I'm breathing the air. I'm eating the fish.
You're welcome back, televiewers of High Television, and it is still Keep It Green, a special edition that is dedicated to raise awareness on the plight of the earth, since today is the 22nd of April and it is the World Earth Day. And actually on this day, it is a day set aside to raise awareness so that people get to know that the earth is suffering from this. The earth is suffering from our anthropogenic activities, the things we do to the earth that are not good. We dispose of waste improperly. We actually we actually carry out agriculture in an environmentally unfriendly way. There are a lot of things that we do that are not good for the planet Earth. And this day we are supposed to raise awareness, and we're equally sorting out from you which way can we better raise awareness of these environmental issues, such that the Earth wouldn't complain again. So we are looking at one aspect, music. We have a lot of people, a lot of musicians out there, and we have very few of them that are dedicated to producing music such that we can advocate for environmental protection. And we are joined here by Scrap, if that's the name, Scrap Beats, and I'm welcoming him for the very first time on Keep It Green on High Television. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, he is a musician and he does environmental music, and he is here. We are looking at music as one of the ways to advocate for environmental protection. They say when words fail or end, music takes up to fill in the gap, maybe to raise awareness. So that's why we brought him here. We are here, I think those who have watched us have had, maybe they are aware, would have known what plastic pollution is and have known what to do. But again, it's going to wipe off away. I think if you put this environmental awareness into music, it's going to help retain memory, because many people get connected to music. First of all, I want to know why music, how Laura would answer the question. What's the blend between music and environmental protection?
Okay, the blend between music and environmental protection. Now, what is music, first of all? Music is just it's an organized noise with rhythm and with melody. Get my point? It's an organized noise. That means it's noise, but it's now an organized noise with rhythm and it's with melody. Now, why music and environmental issues, or why music and maybe Mother Earth Day? I would say music is something that it leaves us a mark in our emotions, because
Laura, I think the technicians are just putting some of the activities. Sorry,
okay,
short.
No problem.
Yeah, those are some of the things which the research is doing. They're picking up littered plastic around to go recycle. I think that's one of their programs, which they're called From Trash to Treasure.
That's the one less plastic.
That's the one. That's the
one less plastic.
One less plastic. I think I learned about that campaign where they picked up all the plastics around them and they had to recycle. And maybe in our next edition on Thursday, I think I'll showcase to you the different products which they recycled from this plastic material. So Laura, go ahead.
Okay, as I was talking, music and environmental sustainability. Now, music speaks to the heart, it speaks to the mind. It gives you a mark that you will always remember. Until today, I will not lie, it's because of music that I always remember small tin pick and small tin pick and even jagatin, even bololo, all bend and weather.
I remember that. Wow.
Those are the things that when with music, it builds your mind, because it helps you to learn faster. As you said, when words fail, that's when you sing music, because there are times that when you sing music, it replays in your mind and it prompts you to take action. Because till today, I will not dump any debt, because I know I'm supposed to pick. So why should I even dump my own for others to pick? So it gives me that consciousness. Yes, thank you.
Definitely. I now move to Scrap. Why do you choose to go into environmental music?
Wow, so many people have asked that, but the truth is, there's one simple answer I always give to everybody. The environment is beautiful, isn't it?
It is, definitely.
Yeah, so why spoil the environment?
Okay.
Yeah, I think if we all can actually be conscious of our environment and make it better, then the world will be a better place. So that's the simple reason I got into environmental music.
Definitely,
Yeah.
you're a lover of planet Earth and you're joining the Earth today. This is especially dedicated to do something good. And I think when I got this morning, I actually picked up some plastics around. I think each and everyone, I'm begging you, do anything that you can do to make the environment beautiful. You can pick up any plastic around you, any dirt you can plant, you can water, even any green, any plants around you, you can water, such that we make the environment a better place. So now, can we have a feel of one of your environmental musics that you've had so far?
Yeah. Okay, there is this song I wrote. actually it says no to deforestation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. From the time we gotta make money, give you everything. The trees, the skies, the mountains and the sea. The animals in the forest and the fishes in the sea. Cause God he knows, all those things have got a part to play. He's happy knows, all those things have got a role to play. Trees are used to serve shelter from the sun rays. Their leaves protect us from the weather. Ayo, please don't cut down the trees. We don't want no disease. Please don't cut down the trees. So we say no to deforestation. No, we need reforestation in our nation. No to deforestation. No, we need reforestation in our nation.
Wow. Thank you very much for that. Oh, I'm having good.
That's what music does.
That's what music does, and I think I've learned just listening this for the first time. They're coming from not from an environmental background. First of all, I've got the creation. God created everything, and everything has a purpose. Now you've said we shouldn't cut down trees. That is already
a message.
a message.
Yes.
You said it gives us shelter. It's a message. So many messages in one. Wow, I think we should congratulate him for that.
It's
because
wonderful.
he has coined a lot of those messages, and you are the ambassador of Khmer Green competition organized by Recess. You are one of the ambassadors. I want to congratulate you for that. So how was the experience like? And equally just try, since we're catching up with time, how is it moving away from the normal music to just environmental music?
Music for the environment makes me a lot more conscious, and it gives me a theme. Yeah, I know what I'm hitting on, so that's specified. Yeah, and secondly, it has really widened my scope about life in general. Yeah, I love nature, I love the environment, and I think the whole essence of the musical talent show was for grooming us better to understand what our environment is and how to better it.
Wow, thank you very much. I will begin with you, Laura. We are cut up with time. One last word to our televiewers before we let go of them.
Okay, now I'll borrow this particular statement. One good thing about music is when it hits you, you feel no pain. That is music. When it hits you, you feel no pain. And a lot of people will say, okay, what am I going to do on this particular day? How can I contribute to how can I contribute to the society or to the environment? It's easy. You have a voice, you can sing. Just singing, you will rally a lot of people to hear you. You have the knowledge, you can pass it on to other people. It's not necessarily that you are picking. So we all have a role to play in our environment, and we should do. That is why we should take decision, action, and not just decision.
Definitely, Laura says you should take decision, action, not just make up your mind and you actually do it. Thank you very much, Laura. I'll move now to Mr. Fomengia Dominique. One last word to our televiewers.
Given that music itself carries a lot of information, and music, as they say, creates a conducive environment for learning.
Definitely.
There's it. So music actually hits into our subconscious mind.
Yes. Music, they say, is food for the soul.
It's food for the soul.
Perfect.
And when action begins from our subconscious mind, that action, I tell you, you keep it for life.
And it's very deliberate.
Very, very deliberate. So with using music to really send out information concerning our environment, concerning our Mother Earth, which is just one Mother Earth for all the generations to come.
Definitely.
You know what it means. So music is actually the best way of really sending out that information to the audience.
Definitely, that draws us to the end of this edition, this special edition of Keep It Green. If you're just joining me, you missed out the first part. Catch a rebroadcast on Tuesday at 10 a.m. It was a special edition of Keep It Green on High Television, and we focused on the World Earth Day celebration, which is today, April 20. and this year's theme is End Plastic Pollution. And that was the first part. We talk about the causes, we define plastic pollution causes and the way forward to end plastic pollution in our various localities. And we equally move to the second phase, sorting out which is the best means to actually advocate for environmentally friendly attitudes. And we think that music is the best way, because music, they say, touches the soul and equally makes you to be conscious once you listen to a piece. If a message, maybe a message on deforestation, is coined into music, we are going to be aware, it's going to raise awareness, and we'll be educated, informed on the proper way means to address that situation. And my take-home message to you is, if you can't reject the use of plastic, you limit the use, or you reuse and recycle the plastic that you have. Do not dump your plastic in the don't just dump them there. I think you should contact, if you have plastic, you should get to the Resource Center for Environment and Sustainable Development at Bomaka. They will teach you, or they will groom you on how to recycle this plastic, because I think there are a whole lot of things they are working, and next edition will bring that to you. We are leaving you this moment in the company of interesting programs on High Television. Stay tuned, don't move a muscle. Bye-bye.
Recess. Cameroon. Green. First edition. Come on.